legend tales of a place where the booze flows freely and the stories are always entertaining. If you are bold enough to seek out such a place, head 13 miles down the Tuscan Highway to a tiny blues joint known as the Townsmith Tavern. Once there, enjoy the ride. Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to a UA production of Beer, Blues, and Bowl.
Excuse me, you can't say that. You're gonna lose your family-friendly rating. You're gonna corrupt the kids.
BS! A podcast that invites you to grab a cold beverage, pull up a seat, and enjoy time with friends. And here are your hosts, Howard Blues and the Mark Kidder.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Beer, Blues, and BS, the podcast where we determine which brand is supreme. And by that, I mean, it's got all the toppings. Yeah. I'm your host, Howard Blues, here, as always, with my co-host, the man, the myth, the legend, the Mark Kidder. Kidder, how you doing tonight?
I'm great that you here and Lil Bubs is here. We're ready to go. The sound manager extraordinaire of the Triple B is here, and is this pay-per-view just a little spicy for you, being supreme?
No, I was trying to make it sound interesting.
Oh.
To me, this pay-per-view is bland, and I'm only here because we have a podcast.
All right. Well, that's good to know. So here we are. Yes, it is Survivor Series 2021, nearly wrapping up the year of pay-per-views for WWE and coming hot off the presses from last week with the big AEW show, of course. Then we have this, right?
Yeah, I'm not going to lie, Kidder. Part of it is I've never been a fan of the whole which brand is supreme, because it doesn't matter. There's no point to it. There's no, even when they called it bragging rights. Now, if they were to say, like, do this pay-per-view, like, before the draft, so that maybe that there's, what are you doing?
Nothing.
But like if it was before the draft, and like, hey, the winning brand gets an extra pick or the first pick. Now it's got something, but right now it's just my brand's better.
Yeah. And look, we have special guests.
Oh dear Lord!
Come on in, Z. Yes. You didn't know that we were getting extra brand supremacy tonight, but here we are. Yeah. Everyone, this is Z. Z, welcome to Beer, Blues, and BS.
Well, thanks for having me, I guess.
You walked right into it.
Some bright lights there.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been hit with a chair and I have a concussion.
Exactly.
Very appropriate.
That's coming up later.
Uh-oh.
Well,
Do I have to blade?
you might have to.
Okay.
I mean, we're all about the most realism as possible on this
To
show.
try and cover. That's all right.
Yeah, stay away from the light. We don't. That's why I powder this thing up before we start. So, really, it's good that you arrived when you did, because we were just about to start doing our predictions for this amazing show that's about to happen. So,
Was that amazing? Legit? I don't know if that was sincere.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Fair enough.
So, let's start out with the list here. Apparently, the unofficial first match of the show, because it's on the kickoff show, and I know that you haven't quite caught up on all the episodes, but apparently during pay-per-views, only when it works in their favor, they count the pay-per-view kickoff show as part of the pay-per-view, as in storyline being progressed. Otherwise, if you win or lose on the kickoff show, it didn't happen on the pay-per-view.
Match.
Almost.
Okay.
So let's start there with the unofficial start of Survivor Series 2021. Shinsuke Nakamura, your Intercontinental Champion, versus Damian Priest, your United States Champion. I know you have no idea about any of this, so who would you like to pick?
Well, let's see here. You know what? I'm gonna go with Priest because they brought him over to NXT and they've managed maybe not to completely screw him up just
Okay.
yet. So,
All right.
but they both put on good matches. They're both entertaining.
It's true.
But I'm gonna go with Priest in that one.
All right. Jaco, you want me to go?
Go for it.
Okay. I think that the arrows are going to get shot in this match, and Shinsuke isn't going to be able to matrix out of them. So, yes, Damian Priest, I believe, will take this match.
Yeah, they've been pushing Priest really hard, so it's gonna be Priest. That's
All right.
nothing
Yeah.
exciting there.
It's a round of priests right here.
It's always Priest unless we're talking about Maiden, right?
It's a holy show.
Yeah.
Well, then, apparently, on some not so good word that I received, the first match of the actual pay per view will be Roman Reigns and Big E. So, let's go back over to Z.
So their thought process is let's put the biggest match on first to bring people in. Is that their thought process?
Sure.
Okay.
Do it early, then you can go to sleep.
It's kind of early for the. By the way, what's the rating on this podcast? So I know what I'm allowed to.
On this podcast,
Yeah.
well, we have earmuffs.
You can say whatever. Future Howard will edit it.
Well, I guess that's a little bit early for the money shot, but it's gonna be Reigns. It's the year of Reigns at this point in time. As much as it's cool that Big E's finally done it,
Yeah.
it's gonna be the head of the table.
Unfortunately, I must agree, as much as it pains me, because I enjoy Big E and his presentation, but Roman Reigns will reign supreme.
You had to. You just had to.
And we were already talking supreme earlier, right before you walked in, so it's spicy like that. Jaco.
I mean, so far, like this pay per view, the predictions are bland as we were all choosing the same thing.
Okay.
So.
Good.
Straight up missionary. Anyway, what?
So the next one is apparently the Usos and RK Bro. Bro. You familiar with these guys?
Yeah.
I mean, Randy Orton.
I mean, it's a comedic tag team. It's an odd pairing tag team, which is, I mean, really in like the last 25 years have been some of the more entertaining tag teams. Rock and Sock, obviously.
Yeah.
Team Hell No.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, with tonight's appearance by Randy Orton, he will be the superstar with the most pay-per-view appearances in WWE history.
So is tonight where he turns on Riddle and RK Bro is no more.
I mean,
That's my prediction. Is Usos win because Orton turns.
wow. Okay. He's got a big show move there. Okay. You know, that's something that's very interesting to think about. Although I do feel that with them getting their own custom music, it's a mashup of sorts of both of their theme songs. I'll go RK Bro.
Okay.
I was also going to go RK Bro.
Oh. Well then, the outlier remains.
I didn't. Yeah, I wasn't aware of the theme music.
Not that it matters, because like
Configuration morphing into like it's kind of like 5 cats forming into Voltron.
Yeah,
type
yeah.
situation. I wasn't aware of that. Okay.
I mean, just like we talked about 2 nights ago on the latest episode of Beer Blues and BS, which by the time this comes out, it'll be 2 weeks in the future, so you won't be able to see it yet. But
We're talking about now.
like
Is
now,
this like Spaceballs now? And
almost.
Okay.
You gotta just rewind. We've gone back too far. But we talked about some of the bloodletting that's gone on at WWE, because this year alone, so far, depending on if you have the people who they keep or brought back,
Right.
they've released somewhere in the aspect of 80 superstars. Now, some of them have come back, so the number is technically lower than that, but this year with releases alone is like 81 or 82.
Yeah, they're hemorrhaging people.
So, and one of them, and the point that I bring up because of this all kind of related as we tidy it all up, is one of these superstars had just inked a contract within 5 days prior to her release. So,
What was that?
BFAB.
Okay.
Part of a new faction they brought up.
Yeah. Does anyone
Kinda created.
Does anyone know what they're really doing there? I mean, is now where we make the argument that Vince needs to go away?
I think that some people have been making that argument for quite a while.
For a while. Not the, I mean, the man pretty much helped put the industry on the map. But now's the time that you go enjoy your golden years, I would think.
And with Triple H just coming back to work after heart surgery,
Right.
there is that. Let's see. Next on the list, we have Raw versus SmackDown, and this is the men's Survivor Series match. So the competitors in this for Team SmackDown include Drew McIntyre, that's Jeff Hardy, Xavier Woods or King Woods, Baron Corbin or Happy Corbin, and then the wee baby Sheamus. On the Team Raw side, we have Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, Bobby Lashley, and
Austin Theory.
Austin Theory. I was thinking many theories, but this one just slid under the radar. Your thoughts?
Oh, well, let's see. McIntyre and Lashley. Probably split up. Don't have to see that anymore, right? You know what? I'm gonna go with Team Raw.
We got a Team Raw on there.
Balor and Rollins and Lashley and Owens all those guys can work.
Mm-hmm.
As long as Balor doesn't get screwed over as the demon. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Raw on that one.
Is that too soon? I don't know.
Maybe a little bit. Maybe not.
Probably.
I'm okay with it.
So I will on this one go with Team SmackDown, the blue brand, reigning supreme.
Team Raw, man.
Okay.
Much better talent on there.
Yeah, I mean, talent-wise, yes.
I mean,
But can they coexist?
this was Hardy from 10 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
And if he was clean. Oh.
Supposed to have been clean company. So then there's the
A
women's
lot of
match.
theories didn't pan out.
Many theory. Hey, theories on that team you picked.
And there it
you
is.
go. Bring it around. Just picking it up for those who didn't.
Yeah.
So we have Sasha Banks and Team SmackDown with Shayna Baszler, Shotzi, who is no longer with Tegan Knox because she got fired, Natalia, and what's her name? Storm. Tony Storm. Yes, I was thinking Lance, but we're way past that. So, and then Team Raw.
We're going to do the Canadian national anthem.
Features Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, Carmella, and Zelina Vega, the queen of WWE. This one, I will pick Team Raw. Sorry, I just kind of went right ahead there.
Wow, did you just
I
did
did.
you just jump me? What happened?
Yes, cutsies.
Swerve.
Make you really think.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go Team Raw just from the standpoint Rhea Ripley and
Zelina.
well, yeah, but
Yeah.
just I think too with
Powerhouse Bianca Belair.
EST, right?
Yep, yep.
So I'm gonna be a little bit too much. Banks will be the last survivor for SmackDown. And
He's going on a limb there with extra predictions for himself.
Yeah. I will go out on that limb, see if it holds me.
I'm going to go Team SmackDown on this one.
All right.
Okay.
Any reasoning other than just to be different?
No. Just to be a contrarian.
All right.
Awesome.
One of those guys. All right, fair enough.
Awesome. Dissension amongst the ranks.
That's how you spark debates right there, though.
The other one is the 25-man Battle Royale. Battle Royale. I like saying Battle Royale.
Royale?
It's just with
Royal? Is it like a Royale with cheese?
Royale with cheese, yes. The winner of this match not only gets the fake trophy for The Rock's 25th anniversary, because it's apparently the 25th anniversary of his debut.
Okay.
But yes, they get a Royale with cheese.
delicious.
I can neither confirm nor deny that either. So this one's kind of wide open because I think they only have about 25 other people left.
Yeah,
so
that haven't been put on
wide
the
open.
employment line.
Wide open. Yeah.
Or are they counting people from NXT for this as well?
It's possible. I'm not sure.
So
I don't even know if we have a list of it.
So are we just supposed to say who we think's going to win it? Do we even know?
Yeah.
Do we even know who the hell's in it?
Take a blind guess.
That's typically what we do, especially when they're in the Royal Rumble, when they're like, yep, we've announced 15 of them and the other 15 are guesses.
The other thing that we'll do, especially because it's a battle royal, so they'll all be in the ring. So if when they get out there, you go, "Hey, my guy's not in the ring," you're allowed to switch.
We can call an audible.
You can call
Hot
an
route.
audible.
Hot route. What
Yeah.
does that even mean? Just go stand on the other side of me, John.
Roddy Piper, everybody.
We're gonna dig him up for this one.
Rodney the Piper.
Criminy. I don't know. You know what? I guess somebody that I like that's fun to watch.
Sure.
Sami Zayn.
Solid choice. I will go with Cesaro.
Sarah would be a good one. Should I pick one just to annoy Uncle Mark?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Should we go Montez Ford?
Oh dear Lord.
Just to annoy him? Yeah, I think we will. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll see if he's even in the match.
That's true.
All right. The final two questions we have are not officially part of the list, but Howard here went the extra mile and added the extra questions on there. So
I know he missed.
I know that you had added them and sent them to me, but I posed the question to you: will The Rock show up?
Will The Rock show up? It's the 25th anniversary of his first appearance. It's 25th anniversary.
When he debuted, yeah.
When he debuted as Rocky Maivia with that ridiculous outfit and smile.
Yeah. He looked like he was straight off the boat from Plymouth.
You know what?
You sticking with no?
I'm gonna go with he's not there in person, but he's there via satellite or something like that. So he's not there in person.
Howard the ref. Is that an acceptable answer?
That's acceptable.
Okay. So does that count as a yes or a no?
I'm
that would be a yes.
I'm saying he's gonna be there, but he's not.
He will appear.
He will not be in this very ring tonight.
Okay.
As Stephanie McMahon would say.
If the Rock ends up showing up on this show in this room, I'm gonna have some extra wondering to do. But
apparently you got a lot of pull if that's the case.
Yeah, I mean,
or
the show is getting kind of big.
Damning videos.
The show is getting kind of big, so that's why I remind anyone watching or listening that if they'd like to sponsor Beer Blues and BS, you can get on board now for a lower rate than when we make it really big, and then the sales rates go way up. So there's that quick note. I will say The Rock is part of the show in some form, especially being the 25th. He'll probably be there.
Yeah, I'll say yes as well.
All right. The final question.
No, it's not.
It's not the final question?
No, because you skipped the match that this is even
we
pertaining to.
We skipped the finale.
Okay, yeah.
That was okay.
I was wondering if I thought you were double match for some reason. All right.
I mean, it's possible because this as well will be apparently the main event for the evening. That's the women's champion on the SmackDown side, Charlotte, and Becky Lynch, the women's champion on the Raw side, the man. So, who reigns supreme in the women's match?
Oh. Well, here's a question for you, too. Are we guessing or hoping for exactly how we want it to end, perhaps? Or is it supposed to be what you think? I'm just...
That's the follow-up question.
Okay. All right. God, I hope it's Lynch.
Okay.
Just because Flair is...
You're a fan of the man.
Charlotte just, I don't know. Overrated comes to mind a little bit.
All right.
Just saying. Not that she isn't talented, but... Well.
So I'm guessing the second answer for the follow-up question is, will there be a screwy finish or a Montreal screw job type of feel here? Your answer probably be...
I would love to see either... Well, it's not going to be... Is Bailey healthy enough to come back, smoke somebody with a chair or something like that, and throw herself in it because I would like that very much.
Well, and to fill in where that question comes from, there was a lot of rumor out there that WWE is looking to book basically a repeat of the Montreal Screw Job tonight. So that's where the question is. Do they do it that way? So something where it's a fast count, a non-tap.
Well, so I mean, is that the second time we'd have a Montreal Screw Job officially in the works, so to speak? Because obviously '98 when it was Rock and Mankind, and all that was to pour salt in the wound on that one. So, so do you? By the way, is everything between those two? Is this a work you think, or is this legit?
There's all kinds of articles. So if it is a work, they're really peppering it on. I mean,
Sure.
they're really laying the schmooze on this one.
They're supposed to kind of obscure the line of reality, right?
Yeah.
So who gets screwed over though? Do you think it's legit then? And then Flair gets screwed over, and then they put her on the shelf because what if she got like a year left on her contract? Because it'd be silly for them to cut her and then let her just go wherever she wants to.
Yeah.
I don't know.
She, I mean, it'd be stupid of them to drop her,
Yeah, right.
but
And then again, they've made some poor decisions this year.
Just
Let's go with Bailey. Bailey comes back, and there is a Montreal screw job. I go with
Okay.
yes.
okay. I'll go with the man, Becky Lynch, reigns supreme on this one, and some kind of screwy finish.
I think there will definitely be a screwy finish. In fact, this will be my DraftKings screwy finish of the night match is how I'm picking that.
All right.
But I think they're going to do Flair instead of Lynch. So that's my guess. So
Okay. Well, we've gone down the list. We have the predictions. They are officially etched in Swiss cheese. So we're ready to go. It's time for the pre-show match here. So we better roll upstairs
Bonsai.
for the show. So, ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
We'll see you in a pay-per-view.
Bonsai.
It's a pay-per-view. I don't know if it's going to be good, but it's pay-per-view. We'll go from there.
Push in one hand and open the other.
Me so then I don't have to. So, how do we start this thing off again?
How do we start this part off? I think we can simply go, and we're back.
We're back.
Survivor Series is done. The matches have been wrestled. Points have been awarded.
Oh, it's the cue card right there. Does that have our totals on there?
Yeah, unfortunately, it seems like in the past when we've come down to do this, I have gotten some numbers wrong on it. So like Future Howard always has to go in and like correct it.
Okay.
So this time, Present Howard got smart and he wrote it on a note card that he gave to Howie Jr. That might be the mistake this time, though. No.
Yeah. The official results
Have been crumpled.
We don't want to give those away too early.
Yeah.
So, as you notice, we are missing one. Z got bored and no, he didn't get bored. We had pizza, he ate, and then it's like, it's a little late. I'm gonna head out. So Z not here for this, but he sends his regards in those accounts. So let's begin the first match of the overall night, even though it's not the first match of the pay-per-view. Shinsuke Nakamura and Damian Priest on the Survivor Series kickoff show. Your thoughts?
Decent match, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
I will admit, I didn't get to see much of the pay-per-view. I was wrangling him around as he chased your cats around the house. So what I saw, I enjoyed. So it was to me, it was a good match. It's kind of our one. Well, I can't say it was the one screwy finish, but probably the better done, the better executed.
Yeah.
Kind of screwy finish.
Yeah, I could see that. Basically ended up with some interference from Rick Boogs and the guitar. He started playing the guitar. Damian Priest told him to take the guitar and shove it basically and stop playing it. And then he didn't, so Damian Priest went and grabbed the guitar and he smashed it. And
he hit Nakamura with
Yes.
it and gets the DQ.
and is now a heel.
And Nakamura gets the win.
Yeah.
And none of us had Nakamura.
No points.
I wanted to choose Nakamura.
Yeah.
I honestly did, but I haven't been watching the product, so I didn't know about the Priest kind of heel turn, the more aggressive side.
I didn't either.
So Howie Jr. doesn't want to hear this, but
Yeah.
so to me, I'm like, it's gonna be Priest because he's been on such a roll and he's being such a face and all of that. Otherwise, I mean, I would have chosen Nakamura because I like Nakamura a lot, and I think he's finally getting a good, push. So,
Although I think it's only the second or third time that he's defended his Intercontinental title since he's had it in the past 5 months.
I don't know that he's had it that long, but
4 months.
yeah.
However, length of time.
Stop making more work
Sure.
for future Howard. He's gonna.
No, he doesn't have to put it in.
Oh, he's gonna
I'm
put
just-
it in.
I know he will.
He's gonna put it in.
So none of us got points for that one. The first match of the pay-per-view, which, as we mentioned, or I should say I mentioned before the show, the, intel on how they were going to open the pay-per-view with the championship or champion versus champion match of the WWE champion versus Universal champion. That info was backwards. So it turns out that Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch opened the show. And this one, we had the question of the stipulation of if there's going to be some kind of screwy finish with that or something like that.
It was
a
a-
screw job finish.
Correct.
Okay.
A recreation of the screw job, which comes up in the points. Yeah.
So, your takeaway on this one?
Should have been the closer.
Mm-hmm.
Should have been the closer. I understand you wanted your two big, male titles up, but that was a not to get too much into it because we'll talk about it in a bit, but that was your slow Roman Reigns-esque normal match.
Yeah.
There was more passion, more emotion, more intensity to this match. And so to me, this should have been your finisher.
Mm-hmm.
So
And a little bit more storytelling as well, I would say.
yeah, I not that the main event lacked storytelling.
Yeah.
Right? They had a pretty good video package before that really made me interested for the match.
Yep.
The storytelling in the match was just kind of this slow plodding pace, which really feels like a letdown compared to some of the early matches in this event. So I thought this should have been the closer. The only real weakness I would say is the finish to this. It was just slightly poorly botched, and
Go for the screw of holding the ropes. The official catches, so Charlotte can't pick up the win. There's a quick reversal pin, a roll up. Becky's able to grab the ropes on it and gets the 1, 2, 3.
yeah, but she was hesitant to grab it. So the thing about it was it didn't feel. It didn't feel as good, as clean. It was kind of like she almost didn't even need to do that,
Yeah.
right? It's almost like she could have just gotten away with pin, which kind of makes me wonder if that wasn't the agreed upon thing. Was okay, yes, Becky, I'll agree that you can win. Oh, now you're destroying Uncle Mark's set. He's not going to let you back. Okay. It's okay. But that maybe Becky, because they've talked about some of the, maybe she didn't grab it just to have it be almost a more legit pin for her. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what we hear in the dirt sheets and all of that coming out of it. But that was the one thing that kind of was like, everything else was so well done. That was the kind of the sloppy thing.
Right. Next match on the card.
Oh, and just to cover the reason why I put the screw job part on there, because yes, it did have a screwy finish, but the rumors were that they were going to recreate these screw jobs. So you were going to have a fast count, somebody basically getting cheesed out of,
Sure.
And that didn't happen. So,
and we could have actually seen it because Mr. McMahon was there.
In the most pointless vignettes of the night.
Much like, and I mentioned it during the show open. So the show open and the pyro right after are the two favorite things of mine in every pay-per-view. And tonight's half of the show open was a promo for the Red Notice movie starring The Rock. Not a fan. I mean, the movie was okay. I saw that. It was all right. It was a movie. So some time passed. But having it in the show open for Survivor Series killed it for me. Just a giant promo. I didn't like it.
Yeah. And that was pretty much the only Rock thing we got. I mean, we got kind of the Rock classic moments, but that was about it. So nobody got the point for the Rock because that really wasn't involvement on his part. So
it's pretty terrible considering, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you could even have had him do a video message at one point, and that would have been.
Then we would have had a point. Rock. The other point, as you mentioned, the pointless vignettes with Mr. McMahon and one of the three. Was Cleopatra's golden egg from the movie Red Notice. The gimmick, if you will, was that The Rock gave this $100 million egg, which is the actual egg, not a replica, gave that to Mr. McMahon. And then that's what he shows up with, and he's touting it around, and everybody, the other 20 people who are left still employed with the company are clapping. And then he goes into his office and he puts it in a lit display case. And then later on we come back and the egg isn't there anymore. So and they never resolved that. So tomorrow, sure.
That was kind of what they said, is that he had Monday night, I'll get to the bottom of this. So, hey, for those of you who watch Raw,
I will fast forward through most of it. It only took me 2 minutes to make it through this week's SmackDown.
Wow.
Yeah. Next match on the card, we'll just go down the list here. The Usos and RK Bro. This one had some pretty good spots in it.
This was one of the ones that I missed a large chunk of. Wrangling Junior. Junior at that point, I think, was getting to his near breaking point. So we were near tantrum as he chased Freya around. So I missed most of this one. So I got to leave it to you to give the analysis of it.
The analyses, some good back and forth, of course, of the Usos and their high flying and matches, various counters throughout it, including Randy Orton trying to throw an early RKO and get basically the early win for them. Some really neat spots in there throughout the match, both of the double team variety, but then also 1 versus 1 or 1v1. And overall, this match was the best up till that point on the card. Basically, coming up to the conclusion of the match, Randy hits an out of nowhere RKO flying off the turnbuckle. 1, 2, 3. There's the win. RK Bro picks up the retention on that, and the tag team titles. I guess that doesn't retain because they both had tag team titles. So the Team Raw wins that one. Just so used to like cookie cutter normal pay-per-view, you know?
Yeah.
So So yes, they retain and beat the SmackDown Tag Champions there, and do a little celebrating. And again, if you missed that earlier in the episode, Randy sets the new record for most appearances in a WWE pay-per-view. Next, we'll go to the Survivor Series men's match. I thought this one started funny right away. And I say funny as in I kind of liked it because Kevin Owens is out there, Team Raw, and Team Raw. What does he do? He's like, I'll go first, guys. I'll go first. It's okay. He goes first, tags in, and runs around the ring, rolls out, and walks up the ramp and waits for the 10 count. Gets counted out, does the old bow, and then hits the bricks.
Yeah, I said, kind of as we were up there, that it's kind of the return to him back to being the prize fighter gimmick. Mm-hmm. And when he does that, he only fights when it's really kind of worth it for him to fight. I liked it. It was a unique kind of start to it. Mm-hmm. My only thing that I didn't like about it was it meant that I didn't get to watch Kevin Owens wrestle. True. I mean, that is the sad thing. I do like Kevin Owens. He was part of the main reason I chose that team. Mm-hmm. Was, Balor and Owens are on this team. I like both of these guys. I will go for that as my choice. And so that was kind of my big thing. I actually liked this. I thought this was the better of the two Survivor Series matches.
Yes.
Fast pace, action. In fact, I'd almost say, Kidder, you could have taken this whole pay-per-view, minus the kickoff, right? Because that doesn't count, right? But you could have taken this whole pay-per-view and just flipped it, and I think you'd have had a much better show.
Yeah.
Like, pacing-wise.
Yep.
I honestly, that's my general thought. So this one just, it was great. And again, I didn't get to see a lot of it because wrangling a toddler. But what I did see, I enjoyed, and it was a good long match.
Yep, Jeff Hardy was the final contestant from Team SmackDown, and had a couple good shots there with Austin Theory and Seth Rollins, and ultimately Rollins gets the curb stomp and the pin to allow Team Raw to pick up the victory there.
Yeah, plus the double count out between Lashley and Drew McIntyre, which was a great way to get both of them out, continue that feud. I know some people are like, I'm sick of that feud, but it kind of keeps it going that they could always bring it back. Mm-hmm. It's not settled, and that I'm kind of okay with.
Yeah, it's good. So since we're talking the actual Survivor Series matches, let's hit up the ladies match there. So again, this one coming into it, I don't want to say I didn't have a ton of interest, but it was, a match. Some interesting spots. Carmella with her face mask protection thing. They made that into kind of a screwy, weird. They couldn't put it on quick enough, but she tagged herself in, so then she gets into the ring and then gets blasted and then pinned.
I think they were just having problems with it, and they just moved on.
But either way, that kind of was what it was. Sasha Banks was apparently the captain of Team SmackDown, which was never decided before the match that I'm aware of anyway. And so she started trying to call the shots, if it were, and everybody else didn't like that. And so they weren't helping her, and she eventually gets beat up and pinned. There was a lot of good back and forth in this match as well, kind of giving, if you're rooting for one team or the other, there was a lot of, good back and forth, like I said, rooting for whichever team to kind of open it up as to who could win. And then ultimately it came down to Bianca Belair being the hero of the match. And she ended up getting the win.
Yeah, this one suffered from like too many ideas not fully developed, and therefore like the storytelling was bad. Like the SmackDown team, like when they came to the ring, it seemed like they were unified, and then it's like, oh, now wait, we all hate Sasha. Now we're going to eliminate Sasha because we're going to do this on our own. Now we're, all losing to Bianca. It's like it didn't make sense,
Yeah.
And again, with the build to this, and I didn't see a lot of the build to the event, but I didn't know it's not like they showed a lot of like Sasha causing problems or not getting along or any build up to that, to the point of like where you could have the commentators like, will they, can they coexist? The classic chestnut, but because of that, and I think they were trying to avoid that storytelling. But the problem was that it's like it makes no sense why they eliminate, like it didn't.
Why they didn't help her.
It just really didn't work, and
the overall execution just ended up being that way without them actually saying it.
Yeah, they also built to the Sasha Bianca being in the ring together, like really quickly, and that was something.
Hi, Freya.
Yeah. She was like, there he is.
Came to visit.
You keep an eye on her. Like they built to that, and like the crowd popped when those two got in. But then they gave a lot of that to the point where the crowd's like, okay, yeah, we're done with this. And again, wrangling toddler, like I by the time like that pop happened, I was able to watch, and everybody else was outside the ring on the ground. I actually kind of thought, well, maybe I missed a bunch of eliminations and we're down to these two, because it seemed like the final, and then all of a sudden you start seeing the heads poking up like, are they done yet? Or are they to that spot where we're supposed to? And it's just like, oh, okay. So that it just felt weird pacing wise with all of that.
So again, Team Raw picks up the victory again on that one. Next, we'll discuss the 25-man battle royal.
Do we have to?
Well, I mean, we'll just glaze over it a little bit. It's the Rock celebratory 25th anniversary 25-man battle royal. Really, The Rock didn't have anything to do with it, just other than being sort of mentioned around it.
Yeah, there wasn't even really a trophy. There were tables with Pizza Hut pizza on the entrance ramp for no reason.
Yeah, just wondering who's coming to visit on the entrance ramp. And then I thought that maybe it'd be something like the Thanksgiving Day feast, like they've done in the past, where somebody ends up going through the table with the food. No, they didn't even do that.
No,
the boxes are just sitting there, except for the box that the Street Profits brought down to the ring with them. And we're going to give it to Byron Saxton, and then gave it to Corey Graves.
I missed that part.
So, whatever. And then this one, it is what it is. All of our choices, our picks, were eliminated for the most part within the last 10.
Yeah, I think Z's pick of Sami Zayn was out a bit before that. But yeah, the rest of us were right in there, kind of right to the end.
And then the dark horse, Omos.
It's not that I would say he's the dark horse, because I mean, like, the easy pick would have been Omos. I just kind of figured that they were going to come up with some way to get him out, because such the easy,
And then he ends up winning the damn thing.
Yeah.
And everybody's still standing around going, the win is as pointless as this match.
Yeah.
But then you see the Street Profits grab a bunch of slices of pizza, pepperoni and sausage pizzas, respectively, and then throwing them out in the audience. Best moment of the night.
Yeah, well, and well, I wouldn't say it's the best moment of the night.
Oh,
but
okay.
I will say, Montez Ford was tossing those slices of pizza. I mean, I would not have thought that a slice of pizza could have gone quite that far. You would have thought he was throwing a frisbee. He was launching them.
We're talking like, I don't know, 25 rows of people. And that's gone. So props to Mr. Ford for that one.
Yeah. So that was
Interesting.
it was interesting.
It's a good word for it. So what? We have one match left.
Yeah, just the main event.
Main event. And again, as you touched on, the two powerhouses going at it. A couple naps in between, going at it. I mean, I really like Big E being the champion right now. Really like him. And as Z mentioned, this would have been a perfect opportunity for Big E to win, get a little extra push, extra cred, because it wouldn't really be a loss for Roman Reigns. He wouldn't be weaker for losing in this match.
Yeah, except he's on an incredible, actually winning streak as well.
Yeah.
I know that they were saying that his streak had kind of come to an end because he wrestled Xavier Woods to a no contest. That's not the same as losing, So really, he's been on an incredibly long winning streak. And I can see not wanting to give that up because that allows them to build to the who will beat Reigns, who will end the streak, whoever they eventually decide is going to pin him or, submit him or at least, get a victory over him. I mean, that's going to be a nice push for whoever they decide to do it. The hope would be that they choose somebody who could use the push and create something.
Somebody other than Lesnar?
Yeah. Somebody who doesn't need it, So we'll see. But
probably be Lesnar.
Yeah, probably will. So, yeah.
Overall thoughts on the show. Oh, the winner, by the way, in case you didn't pick up on that, was Roman Reigns. But overall thoughts on the show. 0 to 10.
I'd probably give it a 7.5, 8. I actually thought it was a very good show. I know we picked out a few things. I still think it would be better the other way around if they would have ended that. But I thought at least the first 2/3 of it was decent and had some good action, had some good storytelling. I will make a correction from the first part. I had said that the Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch would be our DraftKings screwy finish of the night. Because they botched that, I think the screwy finish of the night has to go to the Nakamura Damian Priest match. So that'll be our screwy finish of the night since nobody suspected Nakamura getting the victory there.
Yeah, especially not thinking that Damian Priest was going to lose it and go heel.
Yeah. So, but overall, wasn't bad. Drug kind of at the end, and that could just be because, as everybody can see, Junior here he's at the limit of his bedtime. As soon as we're done with this, we're going home and to bed, aren't we, buddy? Yeah. He's fighting the good fight to stay awake.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So, overall, I would say about the same, about 7 for me. What brings it down for me is some of the production value. The terrible opening video, the over placement of just extra gimmicky stuff just because of the movie. I think that stuff is dumb, the way that it's worked in. They could have incorporated it in a more realistic way other than, the Rock gave me this, and it's worth $100 million. Could have done it a little bit different. I don't know. Or just not incorporated at all. There's that too.
Yeah.
So, little bit lower for me. So that wraps up our coverage of Survivor Series 2021.
Oh, not quite.
Well, the coverage of it itself. Now we got to go down the rankings of our correct picks of the night.
Yeah. Well, and by this time they know because
It's on the screen.
scoreboard. Yeah.
Oh, do we have room for that
Yeah, it's going to go right up here.
over here?
Yeah,
So it's like right here.
right there.
Okay.
Unless I decide to put it over here.
Oh, and then it's over here.
Yeah, but I tend to put it over there.
Right
So,
here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Future Howard.
Yeah. So in fourth place, with 3 correct, that'd be me. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Bottom of the barrel. Tied for second place would be Z and Kidder. They both had
Okay.
4.
All right.
And in first place with 5, even though she kind of was complaining that she was losing for most of it, would be Kidder's wife, who takes the dub. So
Sorry, I got to do the.
yeah, so she's the big winner for tonight.
Okay. There it is.
And if you're wondering why, what Howie Jr.'s score was, he didn't really play because all he said was when given all the options.
I think he was more so just cheering on, like, thanks for participating. Like, everybody, just thanks for being here.
Yeah. But as you can see, Kidder, by the toddler
Yep.
who is snuggling up on my shoulder, it's time we wrap this up.
Have we been talking for a while?
You can say that.
Okay. So, for this episode and for the special coverage, WWE Survivor Series 2021, thanks for joining us on this special bonus edition of Beer Blues and BS. For everything Beer Blues BS related, well, you can visit us on our website, beerbluesbs.com. In fact, if you'd like to buy us around, you can do that with the Buy Us a Beer button right there, or page, because we have both. So he's Howard Blues. That's our sound engineer, Mini Howie. I am the man, the myth, the legend, Mark Kidder. Thanks for joining us. Again, beerbluesbs.com, our website. Thanks for joining us for this episode. Make sure your glass is always at least half full, and free beer tomorrow. But for this episode, and until the next one, we will see you on down that dusty Tuscan highway.
You have been listening to a UA production of Beer, Blues, and BS. If you enjoyed the show, help others find out about it by rating the show or leaving a review at your podcast listening service of choice. Thanks for listening, and may your glass never be empty. UA Productions presents A Glimpse Behind the Curtain.
Recording will start soon.
Yeah. Well, Uncle Mark's got a lot of stuff up on the walls.
No?
Yeah. There's stuff over there too. What's your favorite thing on the wall, buddy?
I don't know.
Okay, good choice. Good choice. Good choice.
Yeah. All right. Did you know you were going to be on camera? I had no idea I was going to be on camera.